that we are having is you're at the festival during your festivities, and where you're doing at the festival, you feel a tap on your shoulder.
I turn around.
And as you turn around before you see a young woman who's very incredibly thin, so beautiful. Her face is kind of concave a bit. Her eyes are dark. It looks like she hasn't been sleeping a while. She has her hair pulled up in a bun, but you can see it's kind of hastily done, with strands of hair coming down.
Is everything all right?
Speaks up. Yes, I so happen to notice the symbol on your back there, on your shield. I was hoping to maybe ask for some help or hire you for a job.
Well, what seems to be the issue?
You see, my son, he's been sick for a while, and I've been trying a lot of things to get him better, and a lot of the positions in the city, but it just seems nothing's really working. And I'm at my wit's end, and I'm just willing to try anything at this point.
That is a trouble that you found yourself in. Well, lead me to the boy. I'll take a look at him, and then I'll tell you what my thoughts are from there.
Yes, follow me. Follow me. See how you guys see the excitement in her eyes kind of a bit as she kind of turns around, and she's not too fast as she's trying to not trip on her skirt, which is very on her dress, which as you're kind of looking at it is kind of raggedy, and there's some things that are not tied up well or really positioned properly.
Mentally, I'm thinking, I won't get much money out of this, but we'll see what it is.
As you cross the bridge leading into the King's area where the festival is being had, you notice that the noblewoman's house is further from the bridge than the others. As you come to the house, like the others in the area, it is magnificent in nature, but to your surprise, unlike the others, its appearance is run down. The garden is overgrown with weeds littered across. Green vines and vegetation climb up the white marble walls and columns. The stone pillar in front of the house is chipped and cracked, with a blue light dimly pulsating. From where you stand, you see the large windows are obscured by a layer of dust that's caked on it, though you can see there are cracks that spider web across them. And from where you're standing, the only thing you're actually able to see is a slight glow from the inside. Though, instead of getting that warm, welcoming feeling, it has an oddly cold and eerie sensation to it.
Can I tell how old this place is, based on the stonework?
You can make a intelligence roll, or a history roll. Oh, still good.
Alright. That's why. So 19.
Okay.
What do I know?
So, the stone itself doesn't really seem that old. Like, from what you can tell from all the houses you kind of pass by, it should be pretty new. Like, maybe like a couple years, but still relatively new. Though, it looks like it's been here for at least 10 years without any maintenance. This is odd. Or maybe a couple months without maintenance as well.
Excuse me, ma'am.
Yes, yes.
Why is this place so worn down?
Well, you see, I've been going through some hard times. Remember when I said was trying everything, seeing different people here in the city?
Spent most of your wealth trying to save your boy then.
Yes. But I do have something. I do have something that I'm sure would be.
We can talk about costs after the examination. I'll still look at him at least for free.
Thank you, thank you. Please enter here. Again, I'm sorry for...
No need to apologize. Times are what they are.
Alright. And so, as you go up to the door and as you open it, the first thing that catches your attention is the smell. It's stale air and dust immediately invade your nose with a sick, nauseating fragrance of burning herbs. You smell something that's kind of hidden behind all that, something vile, sickening. And the appearance of the room, it's much worse than you would expect. The room itself is vacant. There's hardly any furniture to be seen. So, the only thing that can be seen is a painting. The painting itself being a family portrait with 3 people displayed. One is
A father, a mother, and their son.
Correct. The father is a man who's kind of stoic, wearing attire fit for a noble. He has... You would recognize some of the attire he's wearing as well, for being a member of a church. Unbridley's church, to be more precise. And the picture of the woman is... Her image is vastly different than what you see now. She had fiery red hair. Though she had pale skin, it still looked healthy, with emerald eyes that kind of glimmer. And then the figure in the middle, you would assume to be their son. He has fiery red hair, similar to the mother, and sapphire blue eyes, which you can see is from the father. He's sporting a wide open smile. And
Wonder how he's changed.
And as you kind of walk into the massive empty room, your footsteps kind of echo. You hear a slight muffled cough from the distance. You go ahead.
No, I was assuming that's where the boy is.
Yes. Please follow me. Let me tell you kind of, before we head in, let me kind of tell you something so you have an idea, at least. See, my son, he's always been rather sickly. He was quite energetic, but he would always come down with just illnesses out of nowhere. So he was always in and out of the house. We've tried to find professionals to help deal with it, but it hasn't really worked out. It hasn't really improved his health. And sadly, things became worse when my husband died. At the same time, my son, his health started to deteriorate. And every time I did something, and every time it failed, I became more... Well, as you can see, I became more desperate. I started asking for anything, and sadly enough, those things became more and more expensive. Asking for more and more. I had to sell the furniture, fire the staff, and everything.
I can see.
Then a woman actually came up to me, and surprisingly, she already knew about my situation.
A woman?
Yes, a woman.
How did she look?
Well, I don't know why, but it's kind of hard for me to remember. The only characteristic I truly know is that she had beautiful black hair. It reminded me of the night sky, however. Oh, and I think I remember her name. I'm pretty sure it was, Cleo. So she didn't give it the last name. But she was quite amazing, actually. For some reason, it's like something about her presence gave me a bit more hope. She says she'll make my son better. Improved than his previous health. Just to wait. All I had to do was to wait. And so that's what I did, and
For how long?
weeks. Actually got scared that she wouldn't come by again. But lo and behold, she came back. This weird herbal remedy that she said is perfect. And to my surprise, it actually worked. It seemed to cure my son of whatever illness that kept coming over him. He became his old energetic self. He started playing with other kids, and it just seemed to be happier.
How long ago was this?
That was a couple months ago. Now, though, something came. I don't know what it is, quite honestly. It's nothing I've seen before. It's a sickness that's worse than what he had. I just don't know what to do anymore.
Are you still using the same herbal mixture that this Cleo recommended?
No, she only brought a cup of it for my son to consume.
All right. Well, I'll go in and have a look.
Thank you. This way. You head into the halls. They're wide and empty, similar to the first room you were in. They're also vacant of furniture. So as you are going deeper and deeper inside the house, the dust is becoming thicker, the air becoming more stale, and now the cough is starting to become more pronounced. The cough becoming more pronounced and the smell becoming stronger. You're actually able to tell what it is. It's a combination of smells, actually. You recognize it is like vomit, blood, and other bodily fluids.
Trying to be masked by the herbs.
Yes. So, to no avail. It's actually making it worse.
Well, people do what they do.
And as you come up to the room, the coughing sounds awful. You can hear it is violent, rapid. After the coughing fit, a desperate inhale of air, you can hear there's liquid in the lungs, with a painful moan coming right afterwards before repeating the process. You can see there's a slight glow under the door, and the door itself seems like the only thing that's been maintained you've seen so far. He's in here. I hope he can do something. Anything can help. As she opens the door,
And I walk in.
the odor it almost kind of knocks you aback, which is how potent it is. And you can see the room is lit by two candles, revealing two burning urns of these herbs. So, like I said, it doesn't really help with anything. Laying in the bed in front of you is the boy you saw from the painting. Though a bit older, he is almost unrecognizable. The child's shivering skin is deathly pale, with his sapphire eyes, once filled with optimism, are tired and pain-ridden, with swollen bags to complement it. The boy is shriveled up under his covers, and he looks exhausted. His eyes are lazily staring at you, and his mouth moves to say something before being interrupted by another round of coughing. tries to
No
go.
need for you to speak.
Uh,
Save your energy.
he just nods, and his mouth is kind of agape, and you can kind of see his teeth are stained in black.
Now, I'm going to take a look at you. With your permission, of course. And then I'll see what there is I can do.
Go ahead, go ahead.
I'd like to do a medicine check for the boy.
Okay.
I rolled a 25.
Nice. Alright. As you are kind of observing the child, you can see across the body there are these black veins that are kind of covering him and starting to creep up his his neck and arms. And as he breathes, you can kind of hear there's just fluid in the lungs as well. It's quite honestly something even with your high roll, something you haven't seen before. You can guess that this is an infection of some sorts assaulting the lungs, making it harder for him to breathe.
Well,
Is there anything? If you need funds, I can provide you with anything, and I can even throw in something before you operate, or do whatever you need.
ma'am, I'll have to be outright honest with you. I know you're doing everything you can, spending all your resources. But to my knowledge, this is something that doesn't exist. Not that the illness is fake, but as in, we have not seen it. Can you tell me, has he had any contact with people before he got sick?
Nothing that I would know of. I kept my eye on him. He actually wouldn't even let him go off with friends afterwards. When he seemingly got better.
Any strange gifts?
Nothing that I would know of. The only strange thing I can recall is I tried finding the woman again, and sadly to no avail. I could find her.
Well, I myself don't think I have the power. But there may be somebody else in the church that can. See if anyone knows. No. What is it called? Cure disease? Something like that?
I see. Then can you at least maybe try if there's a way to maybe ease his pain a bit?
I can try something about that. Also, what are you feeding the boy? I can help you with that as well. Make sure that doesn't help it get worse.
I've been trying to feed him various fruits and breads. Something not too harsh on him, but
You can show me to where you're storing your food and I'll purify that.
okay. Follow me.
And so I follow.
You head back into the main room. You see that she leads you down a separate hallway leading into the kitchen. It is quite honestly barren. It's almost like they're scraping at the barrel at this point. You know that nobles kind of have a good storage of food, and the fact that they're down to this low is quite alarming. This is all I really have. All I have is just fruits and half a loaf of bread.
Okay. I will make it purified. And then I will head back up for your boy. Use what I know. And the only thing I ask is 2 gold.
Thank you, and here, can you please take this? She gives you 2 gold, and on top of the 2 gold is an amulet with the symbol of Umberly on it. You recognize the symbol from the 2 waves coming apart from each other.
Thank you. Well, I should get started.
Yes, please.
And you see Formic crack his knuckles and begin to gather all the food into a pile. How big would you say this pile is?
It's probably for you and most of the crew. This would be considered like an afternoon snack.
Well, the question being feet.
Feet. I would say probably just like, because I'm trying to think of like, it's like basically like 4 apples and like bread.
Okay, if it's just that, this will be fine. I begin to draw out and prepare myself for the ritual cast of purified food and drink.
Okay.
And you see him take out from his pack maybe a few incense along with his scripture and set it around the food in front of him as he begins to recite out his prayer that this food before him be made pure and cleansed of all disease. And this will take him about 10 minutes.
Alright. And she's
There.
Thank you. Hopefully you can actually keep this one down. I'll take this to him while you work.
What I plan to do doesn't take too much time, because I'm not all that strong starting out, but we can see if it works.
Just gives like a weak smile, like, and just a tired expression. Well, at this point, anything helps.
I understand. And is there a cloth in the storage, or any sort of fabric I can use?
Yeah, I would say there'd be a cloth there.
I grab the cloth and I take it with me.
Alright. You headed back into...
Yeah.
Oops, sorry.
And it's like when I get back into the boys' room, I say, "Hey, going to try something. It shouldn't hurt. I don't plan to open you up or anything like that. But you can give me a nod for that you feel a difference. Or you can shake your head if nothing's changed. It may take a bit, so I'll wait a few minutes. And then we can go from there."
He just looks at you. His eyes are kind of glazed. He just basically nods.
And then I approach him, and is one of his arms hanging out? Or is he fully wrapped up?
He's fully wrapped up. It's a sizable bed. He's just kind of like in the middle of it. I say probably about like which is also kind of surprising, a queen-size bed in his room.
Oh, it is what it is. I'm going to remove his cover using the cloth.
Alright.
And then place the cloth on top of one of his arms as I cast Cure Wounds.
As you cast it, the warm healing,
5 healing if it does anything.
as you transfer this warm healing energy into him, it seems to be working. His shoulders become more relaxed, his expression becoming that of like being relieved. Though his eyes kind of shoot open, or become wide and dilated as you see the veins start to quickly engulf the child, almost like black tendrils going across his body as it starts to wrap around him. He starts to cough.
Back away.
The scene before you is quite gruesome. The coughing becomes worse. You see bits of black ichor come out of his mouth with bits and pieces of flesh, which you assume to be his lungs. You start to see his back start to arch and his muscles start to tense up. And from the looks of it, it seems to not be letting up. It's almost like he's just flexing as hard as he can.
If the mother's trying to rush to him, I'm going to stop her.
She's trying to fight you out of your grip, though it won't even be like a contested roll. She's just too weak at this
She's
point.
too frail.
She's crying. She's yelling to let me go, let me go. That's when you hear a sickening snap. You see his arm, as it starts to flex, start to bend and break in the opposite direction, his bones protruding from the skin. You see the veins around him start to rise under it before popping up, most of them popping, some of them rupturing and breaching through the skin.
I make sure that I'm not near wherever the blast is, so that way I don't get any of the offshoot onto my body.
The boy lets off a blood-curdling scream, and the empty house is deafening. With tremendous effort and strain, he looks at you. His eyes are filled with fear and confusion. You start to see the black veins start to invade his eye, reaching to the sapphire middle, as in one last breath and cough, with large sludge coming out of him, along with a chunk of his lung. His eyes cloud over as he slumps back into his bed, his heads still affixed, staring at you, as his breathing starts to slow and slowly become subdued and stopping, leaving the room in silence.
I can only put my head down as I say a silent prayer for the boy.
The mother.
Ma'am.
Go ahead.
I'm sorry. I did try to use the power of the gods, thinking maybe that would help. Whatever had infected your son doesn't seem to be quite kind to that power. I advise you find treatment for yourself immediately, lest you suffer the same fate your son did.
The mother doesn't really say anything at first, just she dropped to her knees as soon as the situation was over, as she slowly goes over to her son, and just her head shaking. She's cradling him, just saying, just go, just leave, please. I appreciate what you've done, but I
understand. I failed. And in return, I cannot take your gold. And I leave the 2 gold back with her as I start to make my way back out.
And as you actually make it to the vacant room you originally came in, you hear a scream. You hear yells of, "Stop, stop, what are you doing, stop."
I turn around to look back into the boys' room.
This would have been as you're heading into the vacant room, like the main area.
No, the main room. I'll head back then to gaze in.
Halfway into the hallway, the screams would have been snuffed and silent at this point. You hear bones breaking and the wet smack of something desperately consuming meat.
Is there a way to see this without being directly in line of sight?
The door is kind of closed.
Like, was it at the end of a hall, his room, or was his room like on one side of a hall?
It was near the end of the hall, but it was on the right side.
I'm going to keep myself towards the other end of the hall, away from the sound, but I'm bringing out my shield at the ready, and I want to prepare sacred flame if I see a monstrosity come out.
Alright. As you open the door, the scene you witness is nothing but from a horror novel. You see the mother slumped against the wall. You see there's a chunk of flesh missing from her cheek. You see the child. He's moving again. So then he is on his knees, digging into the mother's stomach, pulling out any innards she has available to him. To your surprise, though, the mother's eyes actually move as she looks at you. She actually says something. I don't know what you did, but my son is well now. He's starving. I've seen him this hungry in months. I just hope this can satisfy him. As you see as you see the wound on her face starts to produce the same veins you saw from the boy. As they start to trickle down, up and down her body, contorting the same way as the boy, the same rupturing veins, the same breaking of bones, before going silent and rising. What do you wish to do in this situation? Do you still cast Sacred Flame?
I unfortunately have to leave, but I keep Sacred Flame ready if they choose to follow.
Okay. Do you...
I will mark this building in a way, so that way, on my way back, I can address the authorities that there is a monstrosity inside, and to advise them to not let any of the blood get on them.
Okay. Do you choose to leave the door open, or do you close it?
I'm going to block the door.
Okay.
Not from the boys' room, but I meant like the buildings.
Okay. So, I just wanted to figure out if you're going to close the boys' room, or to close the door to the boys' room, or you're going to let them follow.
How big of a door is this?
It's like your average size. It's an average size door, about I guess 6 feet, I think, or no, 7 feet. I think that's the average size of the door, maybe.
I thought of something very stupid, but I can't do it. It's going to take too long. I was thinking about casting mending on the door, and it would be shut.
Oh my god. Okay.
Unfortunately, I cannot. That takes a minute.
So I am giving you one action before we would have to roll initiative. If you don't.
I will throw Sacred Flame.
Okay. All right. Can you?
As I start to go away.
All right.
All right. So this is on the boy, DC 14.
DC 14. Let me.
For Dex.
All right. There you are.
A white flame envelops the child as he takes 5 burning radiant damage.
As the flame engulfs the child, it seems it definitely takes damage, though it's still lumbering towards you as if it still constantly, though it's moving a little bit slower at this point. All right, I guess.
Yep.
We can roll initiative at this point.
I'll bring up my character if you want to put it on a tracker.
Sure. All right.
Where's the boys' room?
We can just say the boys' room is here.
Okay. I'll have placed myself about there. Because I didn't want to be in the room.
Right. All right. All right. Now we can roll initiative. Let me get the turn tracker. Boop.
I've rolled a 19.
Dang. Alright.
Clerics should not be this fast. But in this situation, I'll make an exception.
I was about to say, you're somehow not affected by being on dry land. You know how, like, when sailors are out on sea?
Wobbly little.
Yeah. Alright. It's kind of funny, you actually didn't ask for her name. Her name is Lavender Markham. Though it is not too important at this time. Alright, so you get to go first.
Where's the entrance I came from?
So the entryway.
Did I go through here? Or did I go through where the barn area is?
This is just like a map, kind of like I'm using it as a placeholder.
Alright.
Think of it like this, like it would basically kind of be a bit bigger than this, but kind of like the same setup. Though the door would not be over here.
Then
it would be this entrance.
Then that'll.
Yeah.
Okay. So I will throw another sacred flame at the boy.
All right.
Another DC 14 Dex saving throw.
All right.
The saving throw doesn't change until I level up. He passes.
Damn.
He takes no damage.
Your holy symbol glowing, but the boy seeming unaffected. The flame not really appearing on him as your first one snuffs out.
And then I begin to move away.
Okay.
So I move to here.
All right.
I move just beyond the corner.
All right. Gotcha.
Shield at the ready. Regretting not taking my warhammer.
Who could have foreseen this event happening? All right. So the child is going to. I think he can only. Yeah.
Even with a dash?
If he dashes, he's going to. He's going to dash. Essentially, right in front of you.
Bonk with shield. No, I can't.
But to describe the scene, the boy is kind of just shuffling. He's not really running. It's almost like he's perpetually like leaning forwards and just doing like a fast walk towards you.
And I thought I was slow.
Alright, it's now the mother's turn. See, Sally suffers from the same thing.
Is she prone?
Oh yeah, she is. So she can only move.
You described her as being slumped against the wall.
Yeah. Alright, yeah. Alright, so she's only going to be able to move to right here.
Alright. She's halfway in the hallway.
As she gets up, you've seen your fair share of like fucked up shit out on sea, especially around Vulpus, but this is kind of taking the cake. As she kind of moves, you can hear like her bones kind of cracking, cartilage kind of crunching. As like you see her muscles are still tensed as she's trying to walk on like broken legs. Alright, and that would end her turn.
This is a debate. A warning. Should I or should I not? It means I wouldn't have any spells left for the day. I'll just cast Sacred Flame again after I move another 25 feet. I'll be moving just a good ways into the empty room. And then I cast Sacred Flame once more, trying to delay the child as much as I can. Another DC 14.
DC 14. Gotcha. Oh, whoops. I have to change it. We gotta put the zombie stat on him.
Oof. Yeah, that's...
Excuse me. But for this homebrew creature, it would actually be a 9, but he still fails.
And then this Formic just says, just fucking go down! As another white flame envelops the boy, suffering 5 more radiant damage, trying to purge the evil within it.
You see the boy walking forward just a bit, kind of thinking like, did it work, did it not, as his legs kind of give way and he slowly falls and melts into the floor. You hear a slight thank you come out from him.
Oh, where's that mother?
Alright, with the child now perished, the mother is going to move right in front of the doorway over here. Or from your perspective, it's like an archway. Alright.
One more, I think.
One more?
I think. Yeah.
Yeah.
1 block away.
Excuse me.
Just in the door.
Gotcha. Alright, it's now your turn.
It's a shame this had to happen to you. And I'll throw a Sacred Flame her way as well. She must succeed in dodging the holy flame. DC 14.
Yeah, she does not make that. She rolled it.
That roll didn't. Alright, that roll didn't come up, so you might be DMing that one.
Oh yeah. Well, I'll also say the roll is a critical failure. She takes the full brunt of that damage.
A flame envelops her body now. 7 radiant damage in an attempt to purge the sins of the body.
You hear her voice.
And I move towards the door. And what does she say?
You can kind of hear through her moans of just kill me, kill me, kill me. It's being repeated from her. Alright. It is now her turn. And she is going to... God, I always forget zombies are so slow.
A dwarf may be slow, but as long as I'm faster, it is okay.
Okay, she's going to move right there.
10 feet out?
I'm pretty sure it's right there. Yep.
She is getting close.
She is getting close. And her the fire is kind of making the stink kind of spread across the room. It's now smelling like just burning flesh.
It's nothing new.
Alright. Top of the
Will
round.
she do anything else?
She didn't really do anything at this point. Sadly.
I hope to be able to put her misery away from her at this point. Praying that maybe one more sacred flame will do the trick. She has to pass on a 14.
She does not pass, rolling at 11. She takes 4 more damage.
As the fire comes around her, hoping to eliminate whatever has corrupted her body.
As the flames envelop, you see the veins start to pop, one of her eyes melting from the intense heat, but she is still moving. The begging is becoming louder.
Then I continue to move out into the streets.
And before you move out, as your hand's on the door, you hear muffled explosions happen. And screams
Outside?
start to erupt. Yes.
I was going to kick the door down. I wasn't going to bother using my hand. I'm assuming it's weak enough. If not, then I will use my hand.
It's a pretty hefty door still.
All right. Opening the door like normal.
How does Formic react to the sounds of explosions and screaming?
And I'm not even at sea. Bastard. I still charge out,
Alright.
regretting that I'm not in the comfort of my ship and crew.
And luckily the noble area was mostly vacant with everyone, though from the moats you can see panic people start to run across. You start to see kind of mushroom clouds, not only from the King's area, you actually see multiple coming from there, but you also see others out in the distance throughout the city. Alright.
Fuck. Well, don't know what God got pissed off, but I have to finish my job.
She's gonna move she's basically gonna do a dash action to move like right beside you right here.
Alright.
As she's just lumbering forward, the flame's still kind of crackling away. Her hair long since gone. Her clothes also burning away in the flame, revealing the charred skin. Alright.
To my knowledge, Sacred Flame doesn't have disadvantage at close distance.
I can do a quick search right quick if you want me to.
Yeah, because it says a creature that I can see within range of 60 feet. Because I know some spells you can't cast close.
Yeah, since it's you don't have to roll for the aim and everything.
Since it's not an accuracy.
Yeah. So yeah.
Alright.
You can cast it, no problem.
Please, I'm only trying to help. And I cast another Sacred Flame upon her,
Alright.
hoping that the white flicks will catch on.
Alright. The flames now intensifying. The white flicks becoming illuminating. You see the blood start to boil. Some skins start to melt and char. She's looking rough. Her jaw actually falls off. The intense flame kind of messing everything, messing with her insides. But
she's not down.
She's still going.
I hold my ground.
Alright.
With my shield in front of my body.
She's going to make one attack against you. A slam.
Alright.
Does a 11 hit.
Her body crashes against the armor, but it is not enough to knock me from my perch.
Alright. That's the end of her turn there.
As I shove her body off of me, I throw another fire at her. This time hoping it's the last time. Does she succeed on a 14?
She horrendously fails. How do you describe it? What do you do?
As the fire gathers around Umberly's symbol, crested onto the front of my shield, and I use the momentum of my push to force it onto her body as I watch the flames spread across her, causing her body to dissipate and fall to the floor.
Alright. And before we end this scene, there's two things that happen. One, the cries of the mother and the child are still kind of in your head, so you kind of get a sense of relief that it's over. But you can hear similar sounds start to rise in the distance. You start to see figures come across the bridge, people getting attacked and mauled. You see people desperately trying to get across and run. And
where was the noble's court? The one I was a part of.
Your companions that you were with, they were at the festival area, which is where you see people running out of, like in the King's area.
Because I'm wanting to get my weapon back.
And the place you were staying, as you go to turn, or before you turn, you actually hear a voice call out to you. And that's actually where we'll end the scene.
Alright.
Alright.